The Majors Plus proposal was shared with CAS faculty in August and discussed in small faculty groups during the all faculty days. The proposal synthesizes a number of features from previous proposals and adheres to a number of CASFA's charges. This presentation offers a brief history of the core revision proposals and the sources for the Majors Plus proposal. In addition, it considers the relationship between the current core and this proposed new core and spotlights the four key features of the Majors Plus proposal. It is not intended as a replacement for or duplicate of the written proposal shared in August, and it does not replace the more recently shared digest version of Majors Plus, the example medical biology students' curriculum under the proposed core, or the FAQ that ACC representatives agreed to share with faculty following the ACC meeting on October 21, 2016. Instead, the presentation offers a way for faculty to familiarize themselves with the proposal. The current core revision proposal, entitled Majors Plus, for now, represents a serious effort by an interdisciplinary group of elected CAS faculty to build on strengths in four previous proposals. It adapts ideas from those proposals based on dozens of faculty forums conducted over nearly 3 years, and it uses the existing core as its foundation. The first core revision proposal, presented in fall 2014, included the idea of an undergraduate curriculum that would encompass both core and major coursework, the idea of a minor as a requirement, and an internship or other relevant hands-on experience. These ideas find a place in the current proposal. The two proposals presented in spring 2015, a place-based model and a thematic cluster model, were very different in some respects. From the presentation of those models, it became clear that a sizable number of faculty like the promotion of clusters, defined as a sequenced group of courses on a topic or in a discipline. It also became clear that many faculty find much to recommend in the existing core. Version 3.0, a synthesis of the 2.0 proposals, was a collaboration that sought to build on the best of the earlier efforts. It was not accepted by the administration. In 2015-16, the Core Curriculum Committee was charged with developing a proposal that would use the existing core as a foundation and take into account the earlier rounds of faculty input. Version 4.0, completed in late spring 2016, is that proposal. Majors Plus utilizes the learning outcomes passed by CASFA in 2014, and the proposal itself maps the core requirements onto those outcomes. It adheres to the NEASC requirements for general education. It consists of approximately 1/3 of the undergraduate education and ensures that students are exposed to coursework in the humanities, social sciences, and natural sciences. It is very closely tied to the existing core curriculum, though it makes some substantive changes to the core. The proposal was developed in consultation with faculty through multiple rounds of earlier proposals. The decision to include the Majors Plus component grew out of Aspire, a document that called on CAS to enable double majors for all by fall 2016. The minor and concentration elements in the Majors Plus requirement grew out of prior core proposals and a recognition that not all students can double major. The Core Curriculum Committee was charged with using the existing core as a foundation for any revision. For this reason, the committee anchored itself in the core values statement in the handbook. Members of the committee all agree that the Majors Plus proposal remains true to that value statement, excerpted here. Social and cultural literacy remain important, as does a historically grounded grasp of social diversity in a global context. The arts and languages are integral to the curriculum, as is written communication. Environmental and scientific literacy continue as important markers of a CAS education, as does civic understanding. By retaining nearly every core area attribute, with some important adjustments in key areas, the proposal does not wander far from the core. The Core Curriculum Committee recognizes that any curriculum proposal will appear complicated at first, but Majors Plus is not an especially difficult curriculum to grasp, particularly if it is broken down into its key features. First, the signature component of the proposal is the Majors Plus option that students exercise. The Majors Plus options are an effort to carry forward the Aspire goal of double majors for all by fall 2016, the Major Plus Minor idea from Core Proposal 1.0, and the cluster idea from Core Proposal 2.0.2. Double majors will never really be available to all unless credit-heavy majors trim their requirements, but this proposal raises the profile of the double major by making it an explicit option for students. Under this proposal, the minor option would be available to nearly any student. Of course, many students may not be interested in pursuing a minor or second major, and some of them struggle to complete even a single major. For these students, the concentration option makes the most sense. Second, the Majors Plus proposal has considerable continuity with the existing core. In fact, it would not be inaccurate to say that the proposal looks a great deal like our current core. Nearly every existing attribute is retained in the Majors Plus proposal. It is important to note that CASFA charged the Core Curriculum Committee with the task of recommending a revision that was grounded in the existing core, and this is what the committee has produced. Third, global education has become an important component of the UNE experience. With no additional cost study abroad options in Morocco, Spain, and France, in addition to dozens of travel course options across the globe, a forward-looking core that is consonant with this feature of UNE should prepare students for study abroad. The existing core, fortunately, has elements that can do this quite well, and subtle shifts in some areas can build on that preparation. Fourth, the proposal carries forward from version 1.0 the important recognition that an undergraduate education consists of both the core and the major coursework. The proposal explicitly connects major programs of study to the development of key undergraduate learning outcomes, particularly in the areas of communication and thinking, hands-on experiences, and capstone projects. Majors Plus retains much of what we currently call our core, but it makes three important changes. First, it abandons the idea that each year is defined by a theme: environmental awareness, social global awareness, critical thinking, citizenship. The themes are clear, elegant, and offer a way to make sense of key components of the core. At the same time, many students do not complete the courses in the recommended sequence. Assessments reveal that the third-year theme is weakly implemented, and the fourth-year theme is defined as a one-credit course. CAS is not abandoning its core values or much of what animates the core by abandoning the theme per year concept. Second, the critical thinking learning outcome has never been fully implemented in CAS. While some programs identified a specific course as the critical thinking course, others have claimed that all their courses teach critical thinking. By broadening the delivery of critical thinking, the proposal recognizes the realities of delivering outcomes for this core attribute. Third, the advanced study requirement is eliminated and replaced by the plus requirement. The values underpinning the ADV, breadth and depth through advanced coursework outside one's disciplinary area, are retained in each of the three options under the plus requirement. In addition, the plus requirement enables students to be better prepared for advanced work outside their major program of study by ensuring they complete introductory work before taking on advanced work. The recently approved core counting rules would enable students to make progress on their plus requirement as they complete their other core requirements. The plus requirement is relatively straightforward. Students must demonstrate breadth and depth outside their major disciplinary area. This was the reasoning for the ADV requirement, so the plus requirement effectively replaces the ADV. In this proposal, a concentration is defined as a group of 3 or more courses in a specific discipline or program, with at least one course at the 300 or 400 level. Option A is imagined as the basic, lightweight, or default option. Students pursuing this option would likely graduate with a mix of non-major courses that look a lot like what students currently take in the core. They would have a couple upper-level courses outside their major area, as they do now with ADVs, but they would be better prepared for that coursework because they would be finishing a concentration or thematic sequence of courses. With a little advising and planning, such students would not need more courses to complete these concentrations because of the core counting rules. An important potential benefit of this option is that it may help a student locate a viable off-ramp when he decides not to pursue his initial major. In addition, coursework in the major may shift over to fulfill a concentration. It is important to note that a key source for Option A was the cluster proposal that a number of faculty found so appealing in spring 2015. Options B and C owe their development to both Aspire and the first core revision proposal. The difference between these two options involves the disciplinary area in which a minor or second major is pursued. In Option B, a student's minor or second major is outside her major area. This student is completing breadth and depth in 2 disciplinary areas. This is one of the important reasons for the ADV requirement in the current core. In addition, she is fulfilling a key goal of Aspire. It is not clear what percentage of students might pursue this option, but humanities double majors often have a second major in a professional science or social science disciplinary area. In Option C, a student's minor or second major is inside her major area. While this kind of work is to be encouraged, this student is not actually completing breadth and depth in 2 disciplinary areas. which is a key reason for the ADV requirement in the current core. For this reason, she is also required to complete one concentration outside her major area. With the newly ratified generous core counting rules now in place, students completing any core attribute course would potentially be able to use those courses to make progress on their plus option, their concentration, their minor, or their major. And the elimination of the ADV requirement enables students to select upper-level courses that help them complete their choice of plus options. The Core Curriculum Committee acknowledges that advising and managing the plus element of the proposal will add a layer of complexity for advising and degree audits. But UNE already tracks double majors and minors. Concentrations are akin to a mini minor. The committee believes that careful implementation involving the registrar's office will enable UNE to meet this challenge. This proposal retains much of the existing core and makes effective use of recent changes to it. Students would still complete a creative arts experience, citizenship, English composition, environmental, exploration, human traditions, laboratory science, mathematics, and social and global awareness courses. As students select these courses and pursue these aspects of the core, they will also make progress on their chosen plus options. The counting rules for ADV courses passed by CASFA in 2015 are used to determine whether a student is pursuing option B or option C in the plus requirement. And the generous course counting rules passed by CASFA in 2016 enable students to count any of the required core attribute courses toward completion of a relevant plus option. For example, a student completing an EXP in philosophy would be able to count that course towards a concentration in philosophy, provided the department included that course within a relevant concentration. Such a student completing an HT in philosophy could potentially count that course toward a concentration in philosophy, leaving just one upper-level philosophy course requirement to complete a concentration. This concentration would potentially be available to all but humanities majors. There are some changes to the retained core attributes. These changes are intended to support the pursuit of the plus element of the curriculum. EXP courses are currently offered in the humanities professional programs and social sciences. The EXP designation would potentially be available to any course that meets the requisite learning outcomes. These courses are already offered in humanities, social sciences, interdisciplinary, and professional programs. The same adjustment would apply to SGA offerings. In addition, the committee recommends the removal of an environmental issues learning outcome from the first-year lab courses. This adjustment follows from a recognition that the environment would no longer be the first-year theme and would open students up to complete the lab requirement in disciplines outside of biology or marine science. Again, the goal is to facilitate progress on the plus element of the core proposal. The third key feature of this proposal is its support for global education. Many faculty in CAS have long histories with global education, and this is an important feature of the current core. A current UNE experience, our new core should support it. The proposal shifts some features of the existing core to offer students opportunities for sustained engagement with issues of society, culture, and the globe. Human traditions and social global awareness course requirements help to ensure that engagement. The proposal allows for the expansion of SGA courses to open them up to freshmen. This change would facilitate preparation for study abroad and enable students to begin plus work in the social sciences as freshmen. The proposal also changes the place of languages in the existing core. It would enable students to use language coursework to fulfill up to one EXP and one SGA requirement. Learning outcomes and the curriculum for languages would be adjusted accordingly. The plus component of the proposal can also support study abroad. The program in Morocco, for example, might develop a thematic group of courses that could constitute a concentration. Some of those courses might be completed prior to travel abroad, or a group of 3 courses might be completed while in Tangier. Lastly, major programs of study would be charged with establishing concrete experiential learning options appropriate for students within their majors. Interested departments could include study abroad among the experiential learning options for students. The importance of hands-on or professional experience cannot be overrated in today's environment. Internships, significant independent projects, or other experiential opportunities are the responsibility of majors. Each program would decide what options it deems most appropriate for its students, and there is no expectation that every student would have a research lab internship or experience. Major programs would develop their own set of appropriate, acceptable experiential learning opportunities. Students would also be required to complete some capstone experience. While a senior thesis may be an option, it is not the only one. Again, departments would review their curricula, practices in their disciplines, and determine appropriate capstone experience options for their students. In some cases, the hands-on learning and capstone experience requirements could be met through a single course or experience. For example, departments might decide that a SURE research project with presentation of results at the Undergraduate Research Symposium counted as both a hands-on and a capstone requirement. More recently, computational thinking has emerged as an important competency for undergraduates. While this responsibility requires some development, the proposal charges major programs with identifying where computational thinking best fits within their curricula. As this proposal has hopefully made clear, the Majors Plus proposal currently under discussion uses the existing CAS core as its foundation. It represents a significant effort to synthesize elements of each of the previous 4 proposals that have received considerable support from CAS faculty. It would visibly signal that double majors and minors are meaningful options for prospective and matriculated students, even as it enables students to take up the less intensive option of 2 concentrations. And the proposal makes important efforts to embed support for global education within the core itself.